What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm going to do another one of my big system overviews. This overview is for the Fashion Brand Vault system. If you join the Skool community and you come to the classroom, you can see that all the sections are here in much more detail with videos and Notion templates. The link is in the description. So we're going to start at step 1, which is the brand armor stage. You're going to need all of these things: a brand story, and I'll show you a tool I use to help convey my brand story and optimize my brand story. You need to identify your target audience. Your brand needs a unique value proposition, something that's going to help you stand out in the market, so that way you don't just become more landfill clothing content or just another TikTok shop brand. You need to analyze your competitors, figure out what other brands are doing, figure out which brands might eat up your market share. There's only a certain amount of money that gets spent on your niche every year, and there are lots of different brands competing for that pool of the money. Next, you will need a business bank account, which will allow you to accept money. And in order to do that, you're going to need to incorporate the brand. I used LegalZoom and I made an LLC for my fashion brand, Pathos of Things. You might need a corporation. Either way, you're going to need these two things: a business bank account with an EIN number if you live in the US, and you need to incorporate the brand, whether that's as an LLC or a corporation. And you also need trademarks and copyright to protect yourself. If you plan on changing the logo a bunch of times or testing a bunch of different aesthetics, don't jump right into trademarking your logo right away. But if you are pretty set on your logo and the typography, which is something we'll get to in the identity blueprint, but if you're pretty set on your logo, yeah, definitely protect yourself, get a trademark, and then make sure you're protected legally. Issues are not really going to become a thing until you start making money, at least from what I've seen. So you might fly under the radar for a while, and then as soon as the brand starts making some cash, people will come out of the woodwork, as they say, and be like, oh, that's actually my brand's idea, and you didn't copyright this or whatever. So it's just good to make sure that all of these things are addressed, and that might take months. This is not something that is just like you think about it for a little while and then you ask ChatGPT about it. You can use AI prompts, and I'll show you some that I use, but it's really something that you need to feel in your soul as well, and is related to your taste in fashion or in clothing. Because now pretty much everybody has access to Claude or ChatGPT and can even feed the transcript of this video into one of those AI tools, for example, and have it break down the strategy and give someone ideas for a brand. But I really like to see that more as just like a starting point. If you plan on using AI to put together your brand armor, be very specific about what tips you accept from the AI, and definitely don't be afraid to disagree with it or change your mind. I'm going to show you some AI tools and prompts that I set up here in Notion in a little bit, but these Notion workspaces, like this brand identity builder, all of these are available in the paid group. So that's brand armor. Let's now jump into that Notion workspace and explore some brand armor strategies for putting this together. So I'm here now in my Notion system, and we're here in the brand armor section. Let's start by checking out the Build Your Identity section. There are quite a few exercises in here. I think we should just pick one of them just to demonstrate how this works. I've been cooking up an idea for a women's tennis brand with a colleague recently that we're calling Sugar Baby. This is the prototype for the Sugar Baby brand and initial product launch. I plan on uploading another video tomorrow breaking down this whole brand deck. But for this video, I want to just demo the Notion template and work on some of the brand foundations for this made-up brand. Okay, so I have this Figma outline over here on the right panel, and let's put the Notion template here on the left panel. I think that looks pretty good. We can even make it a little more symmetrical. Boom. Okay. So now this is a really good way to use the workspace, the Notion workspace. I'm also going to have a ChatGPT assistant window underneath these other panels. So that way I can kind of just swipe up on my Mac, and then I have all three tools here in the same window. It's like pretty easy to go back and forth with them. And I can also Command Tab to go through any of these tools. Okay, so let's read the top of the Notion document or template here. You're about to define your brand's reason for existing. Use this space to make decisions that will guide everything from product to marketing. If this feels hard, good. A strong brand isn't built on aesthetic alone. Okay, nice. A little generic, but you get the point. First, we're going to define the mission, vision, and values. So what change are you trying to create? Let's reference the document. It says Sugar Baby makes performance tennis wear that doubles as ultra cute street style, letting you move from match point to matcha run without missing a beat. All right, next part. Who are you here to serve? Let's look at the client or customer avatar here. So let's put women age 19 to 26, lives in large US or UK city, attends college or works flexible hours in social media, beauty, or hospitality. Okay. What do you make that no one else does? I'm going to say Sugar Baby makes activewear that isn't too plain or overtly gym coded. Every piece is engineered to pass the, say, bounce test, serve, lunge, sprint, and the camera test, flattering angles, pop color, stitch. Maybe let's elaborate on the activewear that isn't too plain or overtly gym coded. Competitors either look cute or athletic. Say we'll drop a micro collection of exactly 3, because we have 3 fits here. Exactly 3 mix and match pieces, and we'll drop every 6 weeks. Okay, that seems pretty good for now. Sugar Baby makes activewear that isn't too plain or overtly gym coded. Competitors either look cute or athletic. Micro collection of exactly 3 mix and match pieces. Drop every 6 weeks. Every piece is engineered to pass the bounce and camera tests. And let's maybe elaborate a little bit. Competitors either look cute or athletic. Sugar Baby is both. Play a tennis match and then go to brunch in the same fit without looking sweaty. We can even elaborate on that and say the customer won't be sweaty because the fabric has moisture wicking technology. Boom. Let's say, I like this one, sees being cute as a competitive sport, loves endorphin rushes, workouts, social buzz, Instagram likes. Nostalgic for Tumblr era Y2K, but demands modern fit and tech fabrics. Nice. Okay. All right. So that's the mission exercise. Let's do the vision exercise and the values exercise. And then we're going to feed all that information into the custom GPT and then just have a little chat about it. What does the world look like when your brand succeeds? First and foremost, more young women tennis players will have more cute tennis outfit choices on the market, more TikTok content about tennis gets created, tennis back in the zeitgeist, tennis becomes less stiff culturally. We're going to start seeing more culture eases up to cute and sultry vibes, which we'll say is less formal or maybe less traditional. Which then actually, wow, that ties into this next one. So what long-term cultural or emotional shift do you want to help shape? Tennis back in the zeitgeist. Tennis becomes less stiff culturally. Okay, so that's kind of plain. I'd say being sporty and healthy is the trend. Yeah, that's a good one. And now actually I'm going to put the TikTok one back in the first section. What does the world look like? That's something that is definitely going to happen. I think that's a byproduct, but I don't know if that's a long-term cultural or emotional shift. Like more TikTok content. I guess that's maybe a short-term cultural or emotional shift. But it remains to be seen if that would really stick. But I think if it does, then tennis is back in the zeitgeist. You start seeing a lot more Wimbledon content in your feed, even if you don't really like tennis. All right, I digress. Let's go down to the values exercise. Pick 3 to 5 values that matter most. Let's say cute, but also hot, but also sporty. That's going to be one value. Money-minded. Let's say allergic to hard work. Because even if they do work really hard, they don't want people to think they work really hard. They want to keep this perception that life is just really easy and just comes to them very easy, like the lucky girl syndrome. Let's say main character energy. Okay, then there's a positioning map. We'll skip that for now. If you want to play around with that, get the template yourself. Tone of voice selector. You could pick some tones just from this list. And then, all right, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to write out all these Instagram captions, but I am going to show you how I would use the custom GPT to give me some feedback and analyze my ideas so far. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, and that you should do if you're following along, is open up the custom GPT project that we set up together in the pro group. There's also a custom GPT if you'd prefer to use that, but I'm going to keep this in one project because every time I make a video about it, I'll just reuse this project, and then that will give the AI more context about all the different things we've been building. So the instructions are already in here. Again, grab them in the pro group that's available from day one. I'm going to start off the prompt with this section here straight out of the Notion template. So it starts like this. List the key values here. So I'm going to fill that out. Let's put that, and I'll erase the quotes. Let's put that down there. Let's copy and paste all of the key values from the Notion template that we put here together. Okay, so that's part 1 of the mission exercise. Here's part 2 of the mission exercise. Part 3 of the exercise. I'm going to use Markdown format. I'm going to call this the mission exercise. I'm going to make this 2 hashtags actually. Then above that, I'm going to have one hashtag, and then I'm going to say new project. I need you to analyze the brand identity for a brand I've been planning named Sugar Baby. Now let's put in 2 hashtags, vision exercise, and then I'm going to copy and paste the section of the vision exercise. So that's part 1. Here's part 2. Okay, now 2 hashtags again. Values exercise. Key values. Cute, but also hot, but also sporty. Money minded. Allergic to hard work. Main character energy. What information can I provide to you in order for you to best help me gain clarity? So before I launch that off, I'm actually going to attach some screenshots from the brand. So I made these in Midjourney, and I'm going to make another video about how I prompt using Midjourney and create images like this. But if you want to just get that now, sign up for the Pro group. I have AI and prompting guides in there. So then let's actually add this one here with the graphic design on it as well. You can add a ton of images. Then we'll add this as like a big screenshot. And we'll add this. And then we'll add these. I'll just do like one big screenshot for that. And now it should have some good context. I want to make sure O3 is activated because currently as of July 13th, that's the most advanced model so far. Make this big and then I'll press send. Okay, O3 is thinking. Here we go. Okay, first impression audit, visual vibe. Color story, bubblegum pink, baby blue pastels with a black pink top. Stitch accent, very Y2K Tumblr meets early American apparel. Styling cues, ruffled zip fronts, cropped proportions, dramatic crybaby makeup, cheeky pillowy sets. It says cute but chaotic athlete rather than traditional country club tennis. So that is what I was going for. It picked up on that, which I really like. The crybaby makeup, but it's also like kind of bloody. Like this video I came up with, it's a little awkward because of the arms morphing together, but it really is kind of like her smashing a pillow with a tennis racket, and then the ad is my sugar daddy is dead, everything is 30% off while I audition a new one, which actually ChatGPT mentions here. With my copy tone, it's meme tier irreverence, borderline not safe for work, zero politeness filter, which is exactly what I was going for with this, so that's cool. Overall, the aesthetic nails main character on center court, but the personality still vacillates between playful empowerment and shock humor. Let's tighten the intent so every touch point feels deliberate, not edgy for edge's sake. Okay, it's totally fair. I'm game. Where the current brand statement is strong. Mission, element. What's working, why matters. Okay, I like that. It split it into a little table for me. The mission element from match point to matcha run captures the on/off court utility in one line. Why it matters, built-in story for product benefits and lifestyle. Okay, nice. Customer snapshot, age, city, job types, Y2K nostalgia are specific enough to visualize. Helps versus decision on pricing and channel partnerships. Product guardrails, pass the bounds test and the camera test is memorable and testable. Okay. This translates tech features into social proof. Look good, no wardrobe malfunctions. Drop cadence. 3-piece micro collections every 6 weeks. Keeps choice anxiety low. Supports scarcity and fresh content loops. Okay, so that's what ChatGPT 03 thinks is working well so far. Now let's look at what it thinks is not working so well. Blind spots and friction. Value wording versus perception. Money-minded plus allergic to hard work can read as superficial or lazy. Risk alienating the sporty, endorphin-chasing persona you described. That's great feedback, so there's maybe a little dissonance there. Suggest reframing as playfully ambitious. Wants rewards with flair and effortless execution. Designed as the hard work so she can flex. Okay, so where would we put that? That's going to go in the brand tone section here. So let's change all of this to playfully ambitious. Expert execution. That's great. She's not lazy. And I like that. Design does hard work so customer can flex. That's kind of fire. Shock copy ceiling. Sugar daddy jokes are punchy on IG stories, but will retailers, PR partners, or college team collabs repost it? Decide your red line early. Okay, we'll come back to that. Performance proof. You promise moisture wicking bounce proof fits. Great. What are the lab specs, fabric names, or athlete testimonials that validate performance? Price, quality, positioning. No mention of MSRP. Are we talking girlfriend collective or aloe tennis tier? Without it, it's hard to map competitors or margin strategy. Nice. Okay, next, long-term cultural shift. Vision speaks to tennis back in the zeitgeist, but why you versus Nike Court, Paloma Well Tennis, or Wilson's fashion collabs need the POV that only Sugar Baby can bring. To embody the values consistently, we need clarity on. Think of this as homework you can send back. Voice and language, list 4 to 6 brand voice adjectives. This will help to shape copy guides, product names, customer service scripts. We need product specs, so fabric composition, factory partners, tech claims, price range. To research the market and defend a premium pricing. If we decide that there's maybe a gap here, then we'll need to add more value to the offer, whether that's in the product itself, so we improve the fabrics, or we improve the customer experience, like the packaging or the shipping. Maybe we offer some kind of free shipping if we need to wait to increase the product quality. But usually I think improving the product quality is the first step here in defending premium pricing. Next is founding story. So that's more important than ever. I have my own brand founding story that I'll show you on the Pathos website really quick. So if we open this up and press the About page, we see here Pathos of Things is a brand by Chris Drago. That's me. I have my mission statement and I have some text here, which I spent a long time refining. So for Sugar Baby, I don't have a founding story like that because this is just a fake brand or a brand concept that I've been building and really have only been building for the last 2 days. For the next video or in a future video, when I'm really breaking this down more, I think I will probably come up with a fake founder, and then that'll be a fun exercise. I'll do a founding story. But the reason why you highlight the founder is to add authenticity and media-ready narrative. Anyone can start a fashion brand or a clothing brand these days. Anyone can go on Alibaba and find a manufacturer. And that is flooding the market with cheap streetwear and women's fast fashion specifically. So having a founder story makes it cool or cooler, at least if it's the founder is putting out fast fashion because they're still learning. That's a cool part of their story, and it can be used later when the brand grows and they're doing cut and sew, they're doing designer. They can look back on it and be like, yeah, I was printing on blanks. Yeah, I was doing crappy mock-ups. That's exactly what I'm doing. And now I'm doing full cut and sew, and I explain my mock-up and print on demand days on these YouTube videos and in the Skool group. There's no shame in starting there. But in order for that to be cool and for you to not just have another low quality brand, you got to be on camera more, make more content, do voiceovers, share more of your story with social media specifically. Next, we'll research the competitive set. So I'll need to name 3 brands that my customer or Sugar Baby's customer buys now and what that customer loves/hates about the brand, which will pinpoint the white space in design, price, or tone. White space meaning just like product market fit, just where our brand or Sugar Baby as a brand is going to fall into the market and not be stepping on anyone's toes and not really having to worry so much about competition and market share. Distribution plan, direct to consumer only, boutique pro shop placements, pop-up strategy. That's something great to think about. Boutique pro shop placements, that's super niche, that's super country club, but I think that's a great way to embed it in the culture of tennis. Like all the hip, young tennis pros that work at, prestigious country clubs, like let's say like Westchester Country Club in New York, there's definitely a gap here where it's almost like irreverent meme lingerie meets sports brand. I kind of want to have it go more pro. Like a real pro is not going to want to walk out on the court like they're in tennis lingerie. This is a little more formal. I think I might iterate more on this idea where it's like a nylon sport polo. I think that's really cool. I think we'll probably iterate on that more and have the general direction be a little less sugar baby, sugar daddy joke. But I think because the nature of the name Sugar Baby, which could be changed, I think that's going to naturally attract like a pretty specific audience. So I'll have to flesh that out more as well. Visual identity rules, hex codes, typefaces, logo lockup. So I already made those. So I can just feed that in directly. Just take a screenshot of this board, feed it into ChatGPT. Community rituals, any content series, challenges, loyalty perks. It turns main character energy into shareable moments. Yeah, so I think this is funny and would go crazy on TikTok. Having this teaser campaign where it says, my sugar daddy is dead, everything's 30% off while I audition a new one. So on e-commerce or direct to consumer, the customer will get a discount code, something funny like down bad. We'll limit it to 48 hours. That just locks in the FOMO and the scarcity. And then post-sale, and this is also something we can blast out in social media ads, is we could have a funny challenge on TikTok called Sugar Redeemer, which is a referral program. If buyers bring a new daddy or a friend who purchases, they receive a limited charm that doubles as a key to unlock pre-orders. So we could shoot some content about that. We could even hire some actors, like a girl that would wear Sugar Baby coming in with her much older, rich, handsome sugar daddy. I think that would be really funny and go viral on TikTok. Then once I submit all that to ChatGPT, which I'll do separately or in a different video, is the custom GPT that I built will help put together a brand filter checklist, voice and copy Bible. Basically, this is just going to be the blueprint for the brand tone of voice and for any ad copy that I write or have AI help me write. It'll create some scripts for TikTok clips, a launch calendar, and a risk audit, which are all awesome and I think will help the brand tremendously. And then right here at the end, it says how you can help me help you. Send over in order of priority, voice adjective shortlist, any hard no language, like nothing I want the AI to use, ballpark pricing and cost of good targets, fabric technology details, the 3 competitor brands you respect or hate, part of a draft caption or product description you've written so I can critique and polish in your voice. With those in hand, I can rewrite the mission/vision so it punches harder and holds up to scrutiny, draft brand filter checklist and starter copy Bible section, outline a launch week content specific to your tone. Let me know which pieces you can drop first and we'll iterate from there. Boom. So I can spend hours on this if I want, feed all that information to this custom GPT that I built, But then I'm going to really, really dial in this brand idea and then make a video about it, just breaking down the whole thing. Because the first page is setting up the custom GPT assistant. So second page, and we got halfway through it. Then we can go all in on audience clarity. We can build a rich customer profile, day in their life narrative exercise, cultural signals, who and what they follow. And then once we're done with audience clarity, we can go all in on the competitor tracker. And these all build on top of each other, right? So every conversation that I have here with ChatGPT, because I'm using ChatGPT specifically, it's going to have memory of these conversations to regain context about what we've been working on. Other LLMs or AI tools don't really have that feature yet. So that's a huge plus of using ChatGPT. But also we can copy and paste these conversations into other sections of the Notion template and then just keep feeding it to the AI and building and building and building until this thing is fully fleshed out. We have the audience dialed in, we have how much we should price the garments, what they should be made of, have manufacturing figured out, shipping and fulfillment figured out, logos, typography, and color palettes all dialed in. That's how I'm building this real fashion brand. So these are all real pictures and videos. There's no AI. I don't publish AI images or videos on my actual work, but I do use these 3D tools. This is not AI either, but this is called Clo. This is how I design garments, zero waste, using a computer, and then some photos of me. So everything in the Notion template with these AI tools is helping me build like an actual real brand, not a fake brand, not an AI brand. But I leverage AI in a way that really lets me dial in the real things and gain clarity on what actually matters. So I'm not wasting my time worrying about ads when I don't have my brand foundations dialed, things like that. It just helps me save a lot of future mistakes, and it helps me save money long term. All right, so I think I'm going to end this video here. There's so much more to the Notion system that I could make this video 10 hours long. I'm going to tighten up some of the actual brand foundations for that fake brand sugar baby. And then I'll make a video about the identity blueprint, and I will finish filling out this grid, and I'll explain the rest of these in more detail as well. So if you want to see that, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want access to this entire thing, I go way more in depth in the Skool group. I'm running a free trial right now, link in the description. Leave a comment if there's a topic you'd like me to make a video about in the future, and I will see you in the next one.